Welcome to ACC football on ESPN. The Wolfpack of North Carolina State getting ready to take the field. 3-2, fans still fired up here in Raleigh, looking to turn their season around as they host the Fighting Camels of Campbell. And welcome inside Carter-Finley Stadium alongside Super Bowl champion Rodney McLeod and UVA Cavalier. I'm George Sedano. Victoria Arlen will join us in just one moment. Rod, this NC State team has dropped 2 in a row in conference. What's been the biggest issue for them in those losses?
The NC State defense is struggling to tackle the football. They need to tackle the football at a premium today. Tackling is about attitude. It's about 1-2. It's a technical side to it. Approaching the runner with proper leverage, coming to balance, and then finishing on the runner with violence. That's what I want to see from this defense today.
And last week, they only scored 21 points. Dave Dorn was not necessarily happy about that. But when this train is running on time, who are the guys that got to make sure that happens?
C.J. Bailey, the captain of this offense, he distributes the football very accurately. He'll spin the ball all over the field today. At 6'6", he does a good job at throwing the football with a good foundation and strong base, allowing him to throw with great velocity. And so look for him today to run this offense efficiently. Hollywood Smothers is one of his valuable weapons. When I think of this young man, speed comes to mind. He outruns the angles that you put on him defensively. Good vision in the hole, sets up his blockers well, and catches the ball out of the backfield better than most in the country. They want to get this offense back going. Hollywood Smothers is in the picture.
And you see there Bailey and Smothers. And for the Campbell Camels, they've got their own version of Cordell Stewart / 2.0. That's Mike Chandler.
Mike Chandler is an elite athlete, dynamic with the football. He's going to be at the point of attack a lot for this offense, throwing the football, running for them, and as a catcher at the receiver position. He is a man of many gifts, and they'll look for him a lot today.
NC State has won the toss. They will receive. Alex Crabb will kick it off for Campbell. Jaden Duke Scott and Colson Fields will receive. And we're underway here in Raleigh. Through the end zone, NC State looking for kind of a change of their mindset for more. Let's check in with Victoria.
Linebacker Caden Fordham, who coaches call the alpha voice of the football team, George, told me how guys were pretty down after those back-to-back losses. And Coach Dorn came in and said, there's still a lot of football left to play, but you guys have a choice. You can either pout or you can get out there and fight. And the Wolfpack, George, are fighting back, and they've got young guys who are stepping up too. Yeah, no doubt. They're going to need those young guys due to injuries.
And C.J. Bailey starting at quarterback. Hands it off to Smothers on the outside. Huge hole. And take it down near midfield. A big gain to start this one for Hollywood Smothers. They were looking to get him more involved in this game. 24-yard gain, first down.
A really good start for this NC State offense. After struggling last week versus the run, getting Smothers involved on the first play is a positive sign.
C.J. Bailey and company at the 49-yard line. Bailey, quick toss to Rogers, and Rogers taken down after a short gain of 1. C.J. Bailey, the sophomore from Miami, Florida, Chaminade Madonna, won 3 high school championships consecutively there. When we talked to Dave Dorn, said last year he was just transitioning, being a freshman and thrusted into a starting role due to injury. Now he's in charge and particularly has grown in understanding what defenses are showing him.
And you see that on film. He's very efficient, decisive with his throws.
Bailey drops back, clean pocket, lets it rip down the field. Rogers there, high points it and catches it inside the 5. Noah Rogers with a huge gain. Chase Arrington brought him down, another first down after a 48-yard gain, and the Wolfpack are knocking at the door.
C.J. Bailey identifies man-to-man coverage and goes to his weapon, Rogers, on the outside. And as much as I love C.J. Bailey, I wish he let that go just a little sooner so that it's not lining up for a yard, but a touchdown.
Yeah, Rogers had to wait for that one. Rogers, the redshirt sophomore, transfer from Ohio State, local kid here from Raleigh. So there's Bailey's numbers in the red zone. He's never turned it over. Pump fake, Bailey, end zone, too high for his intended target, Keenan Jackson.
Where the ID that by Bailey, there was nobody covering the receiver, and so he tried to just hurry up and catch the defense off guard. Missed the mark there, unfortunately.
Second down upcoming and goal for the Wolfpack. And Will Wilson will check in, the freshman from Columbia, South Carolina. He's someone they use in these short yardage run packages, and he gets comboed in with Darius Johnson at tailback usually. And they're both in there at the moment. Wilson on the keeper, walks into the end zone for a touchdown. A 2-yard score, and the Wolfpack strike first.
Okay, everybody in the defense is in so tight, and so Wilson just takes it around on the edge because the defense is truly committed, thinking that he was going to go inside, and he said, look, I'm going to the outside on this one.
Canoa Vine set the extra point. He has missed 1 PAT. They have had some struggles in the kicking game this season. Vine said 2 of 3 on field goals. We'll keep an eye on that. High snap, kick is up, right through the uprights. 7-0 NC State with the early lead. Let's take a look at how they got here. Rod, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a very confident offense to start this game rather than what they showed last week. And their 2 captains, the impact players, are getting involved early. Hollywood Smothers on the first play, CJ Bailey on the next to set up Wilson for this walk-in touchdown.
It's interesting when we talk to Kurt Roper, their offensive coordinator. As you see the drive there, 5 plays, 75 yards, just under 2 minutes off the clock. He said, CJ, man, he's got this Miami toughness. When the lights get bright, they can handle it, those kids down there, because they've been dealing with it since Pee Wee ball, the type of pressure they put on kids to win and play at a high level in Miami. You know, Chad Johnson was one of the original young kids many, many years ago. Ocho Cinco, who came out of there. Luther Campbell started those big Pee Wee programs down there, the famous musician. Charlie Bristwhistle with the kickoff. And Giannis Wilcox will kneel it. The Campbell Camels will start at their own 25. Camden Sixkiller is the starting quarterback, redshirt sophomore out of Norman, Oklahoma, a transfer from McNeese State. He won the job this fall based on his decision-making. That separated him in camp, Rob.
Absolutely, and the coaches talked about the confidence that they have in him. He gets the ball out quick, good presence in the pocket, and so he's going to need to do a lot of that today. And
with that name, they're going to need him to help them in a shootout here. He's got the good branding, too, with the number 6 with his last name, Sixkiller.
I love it.
They hand it off. Not much there to J.J. Cowan. Cowan, the sophomore out of Irwin, North Carolina. A lot of Carolina kids in this one. Brandon Cleveland with the stop.
And Campbell, I like their first play approach. You know, test the NC State defense to see, do you have this rushing attack figured out?
Mike Chandler checks in, the backup quarterback. Slash 2.0, as we mentioned. You see him in the slot now, moving in to the backfield. Play action to him. Sixkiller on the roll. Ball is tipped and incomplete. Sebastian Harsh got a handle on that one, the transfer from Wyoming.
Good play by Harsh. By going down the line, but reading the boot and just getting his hands up to be able to impact that throw.
3rd down here and 10. You see Sixkiller changing the play already at the line of scrimmage. Cowan on his right hip. Wolfpack showing pressure. They come up the middle. They give it to Cowan. He's got space on the outside, and he picks up the 1st down as he goes out of bounds near the 40-yard line, down to the 39, a gain of 14.
And finding Campbell really catching the NC State defense by surprise at running the football, but an area, again, that they struggled in a lot. Let's see how this impacts the rest of this game.
And good job by Cowan bouncing it to the outside on the draw play. And again, Sixkiller changing the play at the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10. Quick toss to the boundary, too high for his intended target, Parker Jones, the 6'2", 210 redshirt sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland. A transfer from the Terps.
Caden Fordham is a guy to look out for today. You know, he's doing a lot of the checking at the line of scrimmage. As 6 killer checks, he checks, and he's going to be at the command of this defense all day with the absence of Sean Brown especially.
And he's #1 on your program there on defense for the NC State Wolfpack. Chandler again in this one. And 6 killer's going to keep it. And he dives forward, picks up positive yardage. It'll be about an 8-yard gain. And it will be 3rd and very manageable here, Rod.
And shout out to the Fighting Camel offense right now for, again, picking up the first down, and now they're putting themselves in position to pick up this second one to get off to a good start and a fast start in this game.
Again, defensively, this North Carolina State team, a lot of young players in the lineup at the moment. J.J. Cowan in the backfield, the lone back, play action, pressure to 6 killer. They dump it off to the tight end Wilson, and he's going to pick up the first down as he gets into NC State territory down near the 45-yard line.
Really good play design by the offensive coordinator at lining 6 killer under center, giving the boot action, lining the tight end to leak out in the flats, wide open for an easy pickup. And they move the chains again.
That was the 39th third down conversion allowed by NC State. That's the 2nd most in the nation, Rod.
A lot has to do with the amount of injuries that they're facing on defense right now.
6 killer with time, fires incomplete behind his receiver. The intended target there was Parker Jones again, the transfer from Maryland. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
This is a big drive for this NC State defense. You know, after struggling last week to tackle, and you have so many new pieces on the back end and on that second level, you know, you want to make sure that you get off to a good start and show that level of just like chemistry and continuity early.
So Mike Chandler's back in there in the backfield with J.J. Cowan. Again, the backup quarterback, they play him all over. He then flexes out, they throw it to him, but again over his head. And 6 killer, he has been a little high on a lot of his throws here so far. JB, Javon Bailey, they call him JB for the Wolfpack in coverage.
Yeah, JB, another one of those young guys that they're asking to fill the absence of an experienced player, and he comes up there, shocks the receiver, gets off the block, and if that was a catch, that would have been a tackle for a loss.
And now we see Mike Chandler at quarterback. We've seen him in the backfield as the tailback. We've seen him at wide receiver, and now at quarterback, where he's been involved. He threw a deep ball last week and converted. Ethan Lawrence in the backfield with him. Chandler sidearms one to Lawrence, and not much there at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 10 upcoming. Kenny Soares hit him out of bounds.
You're throwing the ball short of the sticks there by Chandler. I question his decision, but again, for this NC State defense, good job at getting off the field on this first drive.
Yep, and they do not convert on the 3rd down there. 4th and 10 here, and they will punt. It'll be Aiden Bondi to punt for the Camels, and Teddy Hoffman, the true freshman from Delray Beach, Florida, awaiting. Hoffman fields it and loses the football, and Campbell picks it up, and they'll have the ball inside the 10 to start this drive. Javion Drake able to recover it for the Fighting Camels. Disastrous moment for the Wolfpack.
Very disastrous, George. An incredible play by the special teams unit. Every play matters. Just when you think the Wolfpack is getting the ball back, this team steps up on special teams and lays out and makes a huge play.
Devontae Pettis, number 37, laid the wood on Hoffman to create the fumble. And then you see the punter, Aiden Bondi, loving it. So Drake recovered it after Pettis knocked it out. And what do you do here if you're the Camels, Rod? Do you go end zone right away? How do you handle this?
I'm going to stick to my process. I'm going to put Mike Chandler in a position where he makes it hard on this NC State defense by his alignment. I like him at the quarterback spot, being able to give him the run pass option.
And Mike Chandler is back there at quarterback right now. They specifically like to use him in the red zone. You'll hear his name a ton, as we've already mentioned him. And he keeps on this one and gets wrestled down by Kenny Soares Jr. from Trumbull, Connecticut, the transfer from Northwestern.
Really good play by Soares, and not only taking on the block, but making sure he defeated the block. It wasn't good enough just to set the edge. He defeated the block and made the tackle.
A 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 8. Six Killers back in at quarterback. Chandler in at wide receiver at the moment. You see him in the slot at the bottom of your screen. They like to use him on bubble screens. You see him in motion now. On the roll, Six Killer finds Chandler, connects on that one, tiptoes the sideline, and walks into the end zone for a touchdown. A 12-yard pitch and catch from Six Killer to Chandler, and the Camels strike back.
Wide open, Chandler is in the flat, and that is not normal. This NC State defense failed to communicate as he was coming in motion, which left him wide open in the flat.
Alex Crabb for the extra point. The Fighting Camels 1 point away from the tie. It is up and good. The Fighting Camels fighting at the moment here in Raleigh.
Huge play on this special teams unit. Special players make special plays, and then they finish it off with their triple threat option, Mike Chandler, for the touchdown.
Surprising start here, tied at 7 between NC State and Campbell here in Raleigh. Mike Chandler caught a touchdown for Campbell, his 6th career reception, 2nd career receiving TD. Riley Sullivan to kick it off for Campbell. Jaden Duke Scott and Colson Fields to receive for the Wolfpack. And they boot this one through the end zone. And Rod, you wanted to take a look at something during that touchdown.
Yeah. Take a look at the top right of your screen. Mike Chandler comes in motion. That is going to trigger a communication that needs to happen, and it doesn't, and it leaves him wide open for the touchdown there. And you see right after a palms up situation from both Asad Brown and their captain on exactly what happened.
Yeah, new guys back there in the secondary. Javon Bailey at nickel starting today. Bailey on the toss and complete for a first down at the 40-yard line to Terrell Anderson. Let's check in with Victoria.
Guys, on the NC State bench side, when all that was going down, things went from shock to chaos to coaches scrambling around saying composure, 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 to when that touchdown happened, it was just straight up stunned looks all around.
Excellent stuff, Victoria, and I would imagine that's the case. This is a Campbell team that got beat up by East Carolina early this season. Smothers bounces off defenders, finds a huge hole, still on his feet. He's gonna go. Touchdown, Wolfpack. 59 yards to the house. A career-long touchdown run.
You want to answer, you got it. Give it to Smothers. This is all him right here. A nice stiff arm, and then very agile and elusive in the open field, and then the speed is just on display. This man is a next-level talent.
And you saw that great block by Keenan Jackson to free him up at around the 30-yard line. The extra point is up and good by Vineset. So the Wolfpack shake off the early struggles on defense, and Hollywood Smothers says, all right, guys, relax. I got this all the way to the house. Hollywood Smothers getting tons of action today and putting up points. Last week, prior to their game versus Virginia Tech, NC State announced the passing of defensive coordinator DJ Elliott's eldest daughter, Drew, after a 6-year-long battle with cancer. There's been an outpouring of support across college football as there's a fund set up in her name for cancer research. Drew Elliott, 18 years old, is survived by her older brother Dawson and her 2 younger sisters, Paige and Reese. And Coach Elliott, you see him there on the left, back on the sidelines for the first time alongside interim defensive coordinator Coach Charlton Warren. And just what a tragedy, Rob. What a tragedy, certainly. Coach Elliott had gone to visit his daughter Drew a couple of days before her passing. They thought she was doing okay, and then just a few days later, tragedy struck.
Very heartbreaking story, and there's a large community of us that have been impacted by cancer, myself included, and so my prayers and thoughts goes out to the Elliott family. But that was an encouraging sight to see, just him back on the sidelines with his extended family, this NC State football team.
And this NC State football team has certainly done everything to support him and his family in such a challenging moment. Six killer, pump fake, sideline, incomplete, intended for Parker Jones. Brian Nelson in coverage.
They went on the attack early, tried to hit a double move. Parker Jones, unfortunately, didn't get out of that break clean enough.
Ethan Lawrence checks in the backfield for the second time. They hand it off to him. Nowhere to go. Trey Thomas right there to plug that hole. Third down upcoming.
It's a really good response by this defense right now. The first play, they try to attack your corner on a double move. You do a good job in coverage. Second play, tackle for a loss by your defensive line. Now let's see it all come together on this 3rd and long, because this is a winnable down for this defense.
A 1-yard loss. Chandler checking in the slot, the bottom of your screen. Mike Chandler again. Swiss Army knife at running back, quarterback, and wide receiver. Six killer in the gun. Got time. Finds Chandler. And it's going to be close. They're going to give him the first down. So another first down for Chandler and six killer.
Really good route, taking it to the distance of the sticks and then breaking it off versus off-man coverage by Royal, and just a good throw, timing throw to pick up that first down.
Still a little high, though, six killer on some of those throws. Chandler had to stab that one.
And that's why you have Mike Chandler out there. Do it all. Just throw it in his radius. He'll make it. He'll do the rest.
He's impressive to watch up close. I don't think there's any question. On film is one thing, but you see him there moving towards the top of your screen. They hand it off to Lawrence. And about a yard on that one. Josiah Victor, the freshman from Loganville, Georgia, made the tackle.
This is a level of difficulty for Mike Chandler to know 3 or 4 different positions on the offense, like to compartmentalize all of that and be available as the team needs you is impressive.
When we spoke to OC Matt Kubik, he said, we have a section in the call sheet literally called Mike. So, and you know why now after watching him just for a few minutes. He's at the top of the screen in the slot now. 2nd and 9. Six killer looks his way, but fires over the middle to Trevor Wilson, the tight end. His second catch of the game to the 41-yard line, and 3rd and manageable coming up. Caden Fordham locked him up.
And we saw previously on the previous drive, the 3rd and long, the Fighting Camel offense took advantage and decided to run the football on 3rd and 10. So 3rd and 5 now, they put you in a tough position as a defense. Do they pass? Do they run?
The Camels have converted 3 of 4 on 3rd down, 2 of them long ones, with 10 and 11 to go. Full wide receiver set. Six killer on the roll. Being chased and wrapped up and taken down. You can't take that sack if you're six killer. Sebastian Harsh first on the scene. Huge loss on the play.
This is what you want to see if your defensive coordinator, Coach Warren, is Asad Brown and Ronnie Royal working in tandem with the communication to get over the top to take away the flat route, which created the sack That's what we call a coverage sack right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, are you good at the limbo like he is? The punt here by Bondi. Hoffman again fumbled the last punt return, fields this one cleanly, and finds a hole, tries to spin out of trouble, and taken down at the 34-yard line by Landon Sargent. So NC State up 7, 4:43 to go here in the first. A Chamber of Commerce day here in Raleigh, 78 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, and a sold-out crowd as the Wolfpack are 3-2 taking on the Fighting Camels of Campbell. NC State on their scoring drives, 7 plays, 150 yards, 2:38 off the clock, so they have struck quickly. C.J. Bailey in shotgun. You see their tight end Jolie in motion. They pick up the blitz. Bailey pump fakes, dumps it off over the middle to Smothers, and Smothers picks up the first down as he's taken down at the 48-yard line. A 14-yard gain for Hollywood Smothers.
That's a growth area of C.J. Bailey. You know, a young quarterback may have forced to throw down the field on a deep shot. He takes what the defense gives him and gave the check down to Smothers to pick up a big gain.
Smothers 97 total yards at the moment. Jaden Duke Scott checking in for the first time at tailback. You see him flaring out, but Bailey says no way, we're going to let it fly. He has a man, overshoots his target, Wesley Grimes, the transfer from Wake Forest, and Grimes is down. Grimes laid out for the catch. The training staff on their way. Grimes again, senior transfer, Raleigh native, on his feet. Good sign.
Yeah, Grimes runs a stuttering going to outside and tries to lay out for it, and they just miss on the connection. You don't see that too often come from Bailey. Very accurate quarterback.
Grabbed his abdomen area after that. Perhaps just a...
Yeah, probably just got the wind knocked
out of him. Correct.
Yeah, great effort.
So Ethan Dowdy checking in. The junior from Virginia. He's checked in at the top of your screen for Grimes. Scott in the backfield. They hand it off to him. That left side's been kind to them. And Scott picks up about 4.5. Lakeem Rudolph first there. 4-yard gain. Third down upcoming for the Wolfpack.
It's a big third down right now for this Wolfpack offense. But for them to take advantage of one-on-one matchups on the outside.
Their first third down of the game. Bailey fires complete for a first down to the junior we mentioned, Ethan Dowdy from Virginia.
Bailey does a good job at looking off defenders and then anticipating the throw, allowing them to connect on that third down.
That's Dowdy's first catch of the season. 2 tight ends set now for the Wolfpack. Both tight ends, Hardy and Jolie, on the left side. 11-yard gain on that last pass. Bailey, play fake, all day to throw, floats one, caught, and walks into the end zone for a touchdown. Cody Hardy, his first touchdown of the season. 37 yards.
This perfectly placed football by Bailey to Hardy. And he does this very often. Just a brilliant quarterback. To be just so young and polished the way that he is impressive to watch.
Well, and they talked about how in practice now, in his second season as a starter, as the extra point is up and good, that He makes everybody in the practice field better, and most people don't see that. He loves to practice, and you don't see that from young guys, that they love to practice. Most guys love to play the games. They don't love the repetition of practice.
Exactly. He loves the process. He knows before the game, I have to prepare. I have to compete at a certain rate in order to show up on Saturdays and be the best version of myself. And again, that started at a young age, like we heard, that Miami tough mindset, and it's paying off for this team.
21-7, NC State. Still some time here in the first quarter. The Camels have moved the ball. They did take advantage of a turnover in the special teams game, something that Dave Dorn has been lamenting. They've been a top 5 team, the Wolfpack, for many years in special teams. This year struggling with the kicking game, struggling, as you saw there earlier, receiving punts. Giannis Wilcox kneels it. Camels will start at their own 25. And here's a quick recap of what's transpired here in the first quarter. Rod, what has stuck out to you the most?
Offensively, they're very effective early in this game after being stalled a number of times last week. And the position of this team right now, we're having so many injuries on defense. This offense is going to have to do a lot more than maybe what they thought coming into this year.
We have a new tailback back there with 6 killer for Campbell, Naeem Kearney, transfer from Georgetown. And he gets the carry. And he is wrapped up immediately. Caden Fordham sniffed that out the whole way.
Good team defense right there. Set the edge and then get to the football, and not only one hat, but multiple hats.
They lose 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. If you're Campbell, the last thing you can do is get behind the sticks. Play action, 6 killer, wide of the mark for Stevie Keener, the true freshman from North Carolina. He's a big kid when you see him up close. We saw him up close, Rod.
He is indeed. What's standing out to me right now, as you pointed out earlier, George, is 6 killer on these throws on the outside. It just a little off in hitting the mark the way that he should.
Big 3rd down here, 3rd and 12. No Mike Chandler here on this 3rd down play at the moment. And he's not out there. 4-man rush for NC State. And complete, but right at the sticks. Trevor Wilson got popped by Kenny Soares, and the Campbell Camels will have to punt.
This Wolfpack defense is looking like they're coming alive right now. Really good distribution on the back end, knowing the situation, getting their depth, and then coming up and making a secure tackle. Really good job by Soares on that play.
And good pressure by Brandon Cleveland, the senior from Tampa, Florida, the nose tackle, the big fella. 6'4", 315 pounds. Punt here by Bondi, and whistles everywhere, flags all over the field at the 29 and 25 yard line. And lots of pointing to the Campbell side as a full start.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
First penalty for either team today. Teddy Hoffman back there to receive at his own 40. He muffed a punt earlier, fielded the last one cleanly. Low snap. Bondi gets it off. Spiraling punt. Hoffman bobbles it again and loses it. Is he able to regain it? He does. And if you're Dave Dorn, Teddy Hoffman is a freshman that they really are excited about, but with 2 muff punts, Rod, you have to reconsider this potentially, don't you?
Starting to lose the trust from the young man being in that position. Yes, he is a player with great speed, but your first job as a returner is to secure the football for your team and for your offense.
Kelvin McBride able to scoop it up for the Wolfpack. So they avoid disaster there. Bailey spins away from trouble for the moment. He's going to take off and run and gains positive yardage. Picks up about 2 as Donovan Philord brought him down.
Wolfpack dodged a bullet right there on that special teams play, and so they got the ball at midfield. You know, take advantage of this field position, get back on the attack.
Play fake for Bailey. Pressure coming. He steps up, fires, and connects to Keenan Jackson for a first down to the 39-yard line. A 10-yard gain.
Watch Bailey. Like, Bailey is impressive to watch. You know, he keeps his eyes down the field, even though there's pressure in his face.
He certainly didn't waver as guys were surrounding and flying by him. And that'll do it for the first quarter.
That is the end of the first quarter.
Wolfpack leading by 14 and looking to tack on some more. Welcome back to Raleigh. NC State leading 21-7 as we get ready to begin the second quarter. Earlier, Victoria caught up with Campbell head coach Braxton Harris.
Coach, what does it mean to have your team here playing in an atmosphere like this and playing the way that they've been playing?
Yeah, you know, Campbell's only played football for 16 years. So it's a big moment for us on the biggest stage in the state of North Carolina. Proud of the way the guys are playing. The culture that we're trying to build is things like you're seeing on the field. Special teams making plays, giving great effort. We got to slow some things down and just do our jobs on the defensive side. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, Victoria. A big completion there to Keenan Jackson as C.J. Bailey picks up the first down to the 6-yard line. A perfect strike from Bailey to Jackson. 33-yard gain.
Yeah, good throw, George. But I want Bailey to throw it out there to allow his receivers to run underneath the catch instead of having to wait. Those are two things I'm seeing early in this game, particularly on the long ball.
170 passing yards for Bailey already. And this one a keeper, but it looked like it was a bit disjointed. Don't know if he meant to give it to Smothers and he just decided to run it, but a flag.
Offense, number 65, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Jacarius Peak, the redshirt junior left tackle.
And Peak just starts to lose him and puts his arms on the outside frame of the defender. That's going to be a hold every day.
Smothers did look back, though. It seemed like he was a bit confused there as well. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 16. Bailey on the RPO, dumps it down to Smothers, down the sideline, jumps into the end zone for the touchdown. A 16-yard score, a little handshake with Wesley Grimes and his receiving core, and another touchdown for the Wolfpack.
A 16-yard touchdown.
Second score for Smothers today.
Yeah, everybody on that play was accounted for except for Smothers. And he's a guy that you need circled on your defense all the time.
Smothers with 116 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns at the moment. Line set for the extra point. High snap. And barely sneaks it in to the left upright. Let's take a look at how it went down, Rob.
Yeah, and so the Campbell defense, somebody is responsible for Smothers, but they second guess themselves in the flat, and then he's wide open. And he just walks in into the end zone.
And Jolie wrestling the defender out of bounds there as well. Let's check in with Victoria.
Guys, I got to talk to Hollywood Smothers earlier in the week, and he told me, look, we have to block out the negative noise, and it's all about how we respond day in and day out. And I'd say they were responding pretty well, George.
Yeah, so far so good, Victoria. Hollywood Smothers, when we spoke to the offensive coordinator, Kurt Roper, his dad was the defensive coordinator at Pitt many, many years ago when Tony Dorsett was there. And he says that Hollywood reminds him of the Hall of Famer, Tony Dorsett. Loves how he plays with his quickness and his balance when running and or receiving the ball.
And you know who he reminds me of that's at the next level, George?
Yeah.
And that's Aaron Jones.
This one goes out of bounds, so it'll be good field position for Campbell. That is a good comp.
Yeah.
Especially when you see him physically. Yes.
Yeah, size, the way that they both run the football.
Kicking team. By rule, the ball is placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Charlie Birtwistle, again, the issues on special teams for a program that really has never had these issues before, Rob.
Yeah, it's very troubling to see, especially at this part of the season. You know, you want to be clicking on in every phase of the game, and a part of the game that you leaned on has now hurt you. It's tough to see as a coach.
6 killers back in the backfield. Chandler flexes out. They run it here. Huge hole up the middle for Cowan, and he picks up enough for the first down, an 11-yard gain.
Cowan is somebody that I thought I would see a lot more of because of the difficulty that Terrion Stewart of Virginia Tech brought to this defense last week.
Cowan and Chandler in the backfield now, Rod. They're getting frisky back there using Chandler in so many places.
The time is now.
Chandler in motion. He's their slash. 6 killer on the roll, being chased, and wisely throws it out of bounds. Nobody home, nobody open. Barry Tate, the closest receiver in the area.
For this offense, you know, a couple of things that I had made a note of for them to do if they want to win today is move Chandler around, because it forces the defense to, one, communicate. It forces them to, forces their hand. I know they have them circled to maybe even change the defense that they're going to call on that particular play.
They moved him right off the field on that one. The defense did, that's for sure. 6 killer changing the play at the line of scrimmage. 4 wide receiver set. And gets it off with 2 seconds to go. They hand it off. Another hole and maybe a face mask there. And you see the flag coming in. Cowan with the carry. We'll see what the laundry's about.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. Number 33. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
That's Kenny Soares, the Northwestern transfer.
Yeah, Soares just puts his arm out as he's facing the blocker and gets a lot of his face mask there, of course.
And Mike Chandler in at QB for the 2nd time in this game. Cowan on his right hip. And Cowan breaking some tackles, picks up positive yardage. Roddy Royal and Soares eventually brought him down.
And you're starting to see this running attack come alive for the Campbell offense with Cowan, because like I said, he's a physical back. He's listed at 210 pounds, and it forces this defense to do what? To tackle well. An arm tackle doesn't get it done. You have to put a body on body, swarm to the football.
31-yard drive at the moment, the longest for Campbell today. Chandler again at quarterback. Hands it off. And some more tough yardage for Cowan. It'll be 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 5 upcoming. 6 killer checking back in at quarterback. Cowan running off. And Ethan Lawrence now in at tailback for Campbell. 3rd and 5. Big moment for Campbell if they're trying to stay in this one. They need to get to the 24-yard line. And a run by Lawrence. He's going to be about a yard shy. Gets to the 25, a 4-yard gain. And Caden Fordham brought him down. Do you go here, Rod?
Absolutely. You see the guys running on the field right now. The time is now. And truthfully, I don't know why Mike Chandler is on the field either.
I am also surprised on a 4th and 1, considering how effective he's been at multiple positions, quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. 2 tight ends, Adams, Grenier, and Wilson. Ethan Lawrence at tailback, 6-killer under center. They hand it off to Lawrence. Denied. NC State will turn them over on downs.
Ruling on the field as the runner was short of the line of gain. It's first down, NC State.
Kean Sloan with the tackle.
Timeout on the field.
So a big stop for the Wolfpack. Campbell sent away. A big stop for NC State, Rod, on that last play. Turned them over on downs. So they get the ball back here, deep in their own territory. Jaden Duke-Scott in the backfield with Bailey. He gets the carry, bounces it to the outside, takes a hit, spins around, still going, down near the marker, just shy. But let's take a look at that defensive spot. Wait, a flag has come in. What did you make of that play call and the personnel for Campbell?
I was very surprised to not have your most effective runners on the field, that being Chandler and Cowan, particularly in this game. But paying homage to that defensive line.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 8, 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
JoJo Pace, 5th-year senior out of Long Beach, California. Look at the left side of the screen here. There it is. Now, that's a big fella going down there, Rod. I mean, I get he got pushed, but that's a big man going down there. Do you think there was enough force for that?
JoJo Pace it's a solid size safety.
Okay, I'm just curious. So they tack on 15 more to midfield. Bailey lets it rip down the sideline. It's caught. No, incomplete. Grimes couldn't haul it in. Brandon Guzman in coverage.
Guzman does a good job at squeezing the receiver Grimes to the sideline and then fighting to the very end. Getting a nice incomplete on that play. Getting his head around too.
I don't know if he didn't catch that. I didn't see the ball hit the ground there at all. They ruled it incomplete, and NC State will go back to the air towards the sideline, complete to Jolie, and a first down for Justin Jolie, a 15-yard gain. Justin Jolie, this guy's got first-round pick written all over him, Rod.
Very much so. Very polished in the way that he runs his routes, and is a good blocker, and that means he's a complete tight end.
Jolie, the senior, was here last year, transferred from UConn. Ball on the 35 now for the Wolfpack. They give it to Scott on the ground. Stood up after a gain of 1. Duke Scott, the change of pace back for Smothers. 5'10", 215-pound redshirt freshman. He's built right, that's for sure.
A physical specimen, always falling forward. You saw him a couple plays ago, just fighting for yardage, and always just has his feet moving on contact.
2nd and 9 for Bailey. Bailey with plenty of time. Airs one out, wide open, touchdown! Terrell Anderson. 34 yards. Bailey with his 3rd touchdown of the game.
Really really smooth route by Terrell Anderson on the safety, making it seem like he was going over, and then he climbed up, and then the ability to maneuver as the ball is in the air with the catch to finish it off with a touchdown.
Fine set for the extra point. Up and good. So 3 TD passes to 3 different receivers for C.J. Bailey.
C.J. Bailey, he doesn't discriminate. He spreads the wealth to everybody on the field, and the beneficiary there was my man Anderson.
Let's take a look at what C.J. Bailey has been able to accomplish today, Rod.
Yeah, Bailey, strong arm, and he's decisive with the football. A confident quarterback is a dangerous quarterback, and he's done a lot today to be able to put this team in this position, and it's beautiful when he does it at this level.
NC State 35 points, most in the first half since 2022. They had 38 against Charleston Southern. They still have 8.5 minutes to go. And you see them fired up here. The last kick was out of bounds by Charlie Birtwistle. And Campbell will down it by Giannis Wilcox. Now, C.J. Bailey has been fantastic in his first 14 starts. Look at how he compares to some of the greats here at NC State.
Really good company. You know, we're talking about guys that have played in the National Football League for a long time and been effective, and he's putting up numbers very comparable or better than them right now. And that is why, again, this NC State team just feels so confident with him at the helm.
Campbell looking to get any points here in this second quarter to try to make this a game. Quick toss towards the boundary to Giannis Wilcox, and picks up the first down.
The first time we said his name today, I'm surprised because he had a really big game last week. So maybe let's look for him to get involved on this drive.
Had 5 catches, 124 yards last week in a loss to Western Carolina. Mike Chandler, the Swiss Army knife for Campbell, who was not in on their 4th down play that they got stopped deep in NC State territory, is at the bottom of your screen in the slot. 6 killer with time, throws it on the run to his tight end Trevor Wilson. That's his 3rd catch of the game. Picks up a decent chunk of change there, 4-yard gain.
Yeah, George, you hit on it. Chandler, he's a player that should be in, particularly on crucial moments in this game. And that 4th and 1 on the last drive was one of those.
He is checked out for the moment on 2nd and 6. Kearney in the backfield with 6 killer. Changing the play at the line of scrimmage. They've had some success with that, but the play clock is ticking. They barely get it off in time. Kearney taken down by Caden Fordham. Flag trailing the play. Positive yardage on the run. We'll see what the infraction is.
Holding. Offense. Number 57. 10-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Jaden Colvin, the starting center, redshirt junior from Ontario, California. Transfer from JUCO College in San Antonio. 2nd and 16 now. Chandler checking back in for Campbell. He's at the top of your screen in the slot. 4 wide receiver set for the Camels.
Yeah. If I would anticipate the Wolfpack defense playing some sort of zone, try to hit one of these guys underneath Chandler or Wilcox.
4-man rush. They pick it up, and nobody home there. A lot of red shirts, though. And that one intended for Stevie Keener, I believe, the freshman. He was in the area, let's call it. So 3rd down and 16. Not a lot of plays in the playbook for this one.
Not a lot of plays. You're thinking a screen, something sideways, possibly a draw. Get the ball to your skilled positions in space. And this is crucial for this NC State defense now, recognizing and knowing that they're going to have to come up and be good tacklers underneath.
Campbell is 3 of 7 on 3rd downs. Pressure coming, flag thrown, and the screen goes nowhere to Giannis Wilcox. Kelvin McBride makes the tackle, wraps him up quickly.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 players were in motion and not set prior to the snap. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
So Aiden Bondi will come out to punt. Six Killer didn't seem pleased with something there as he's walking out. Terrell Anderson set back to receive. Teddy Hoffman no longer receiving punts, Rod, after 2 muffed punts.
You have to go with someone who is going to secure the catch and that you have full trust in.
Bondi gets it off. Spiraling punt. Anderson backpedals. He'll receive and take it right up the middle. Splits defenders on the move. Flag on the field. He's breaking through and he's going to get to the end zone for a touchdown. So a punt return for a touchdown.
Holding. Receiving team, number 35. 10-yard penalty as enforced from the spot of the foul. 1st down, NC State.
LaCorian Hodge with the infraction that nullifies a 78-yard punt return for a touchdown with a hold.
How many times these penalties going to negate big plays for you, and you just can't do it. You have to stay inside the framework of the defender as you're blocking them.
Special teams continuing to bite the Wolfpack. So they've had 2 fumbles, one that they lost, one that they recovered, a kick out of bounds, and a penalty on what would have been a touchdown. And Dave Dorn, again, that was a conversation that head coach Dave Dorn emphasized to us, that special teams has just been a bit of a mess for them. And again, uncharted waters for them. But they do lead 35-7 here in the 2nd quarter. Despite some miscues on special teams, 4 to be exact, the Wolfpack with a 28-point lead. A little over 6 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. George Sedano, Rodney McLeod, Victoria Arlen with you here in Raleigh. Smothers with the carry. Spun around for positive yardage by Lakeem Rudolph, a 5-yard gain for the Wolfpack. And despite the miscues on special teams, Rod, this offense has looked pretty good.
Offense has looked good today, George, and both on the ground and through the air. And it's what you want to see if you're Dave Dorn. And like I said, they're going to have to rely on this offense a lot more down the stretch of this season.
341 total yards, and adding to that total as Smothers breaks into the open field and tripped up in Campbell territory by Carlando Crump. A 35-yard gain for Hollywood Smothers.
This is a nice stretch run here, and Hollywood Smothers just finds daylight on that right side of that offensive line, puts his foot in the ground, and gets up the field in a hurry.
123 yards on the ground for Smothers, 30 receiving, 7 plays of 15 yards or more, 3 rushes by Smothers. Bailey all day. Now pressure comes, throws a bullet to Dowdy. Dowdy making a couple of guys miss and picking up a nice chunk of change. A 6-yard gain. JoJo Pace eventually brought him down.
And what just stood out to me on that play was Smothers. He just had a long run, and then he comes right there and picks up the defender in the A-gap for the block to allow Bailey to make that pass.
He did. He picked it up right up the middle. Duke Scott now subs in for Smothers in the backfield. Bailey, pressure coming, flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, complete again to Dowdy. Dowdy falls, had a lot of room to run, does pick up the first down to the 34-yard line. But let's take a look at your guy, Hollywood Smothers.
Look at Smothers, doesn't flinch, takes on the block perfectly, and allows his quarterback to throw and find the open receiver. That is a running back, ladies and gentlemen.
That last pass, though, for 8 yards in the first down. Bailey, 13 of 16, 249 yards, 3 TDs. Hands it off this time on the jet sweep to Wesley Grimes. Grimes will be about 3 yards shy of the first down. 7-yard gain.
George, and we're hearing a lot of wide receivers' names get called today, and that's one thing that they talked about in the meetings this week is that they don't really have a play set out for the receiver. They let the defense, they let Bailey find who's ever open on that play.
397 total yards, 6 receivers, to your point, Rod, have been out there making plays and catching balls for the Wolfpack. Bailey sets, fires to Scott out of the backfield and out of bounds for a first down. Oh, no, wait. They'll say he might have caught it out of bounds. Did they? I saw one receiver say out of, no, yeah, they will give it to him. Yes, so first down.
Yeah, that's
well, the official at the top, you'll see, well, you didn't see it there. He waved his hands incomplete.
Yeah, that's 2 feet. Maybe even you almost got the third one down.
So a 13-yard gain. Just wanted to be sure. Scott, oh, with a hole there, stutter steps and gets into the end zone for a touchdown. A 14-yard scamper for Scott. 41-7 Wolfpack.
Let's get the offensive line some love for just straining, staying with their blocks, moving guys out of the way to create space on the outside for Scott. They've been doing a good job today after, again, a tough game last week and responding the right way.
Excellent patience on the hesitation move by Scott. And Scott gets on the board. It's 42-7. So everybody getting involved now, Rod. 6 touchdowns for the Wolfpack, 5 different players.
This is what you want to see if you're the offensive coordinator of the Wolfpack, is that this makes you very dangerous and a flexible play caller, because a defense now cannot lock in on one set guy on your football team because everybody is capable.
Kurt Roper, the offensive coordinator, has to be happy for sure. 42 points is the most in a first half for NC State since 2015. So 10 years, 2:28 to go. And this team, again, dropping 2 in a row in conference. They're 1-2 in conference, and you may say, well, wait, how are they 1-2 in conference? They played Virginia week 2, technically a non-conference game with your Cavaliers, Rod.
Yes, and they've had some troubles the last 2 weeks, and they're showing up today with a different attitude and mindset about them in preparation for the remainder stretch of this season.
Yeah, we'll see their defense now. Dave Doran told us that defensively last week obviously didn't tackle. We mentioned that in the open. 13 missed tackles against Virginia Tech. Pretty clean today, though, on defense in that regard.
Really clean. You know, outside of one miscue that led to that first touchdown with a communication error, they've been pretty stout and in sync today.
3 timeouts for both teams. Cowan trying to break free, picks up a couple.
And as a former player myself, you know, after having a tough loss last week in particular, the one thing you want to do is hurry up and get to the game to get that bad taste out of your mouth and fix the problems that occurred.
2-minute timeout. Campbell will regroup here. They're down 42-7. The Wolfpack in complete control. And here's another look at that last TD here.
Really good patience by Scott, just finding the hole, and then he found the end zone.
Fans having a good old time here, and they should. They're up 35 here in Raleigh. The Wolfpack up 42-7. Second down and 8 for Campbell. They hand it off again to the 30 this time. A 3-yard gain by Cowan. It'll be 3rd and 5 upcoming. And a helmet is off for Cowan, so he'll have to run off the field on this one and get replaced at tailback. 3 timeouts remaining for Campbell. And they may be using one here. Nope. NC State called timeout. What do you think defensively NC State is talking about here, Rob?
Get the stop so we can get the ball back for our offense.
One more time?
And get a touchdown. One more in before half. That's the reason for this timeout. With 3rd and 5 right now, of course, I'm talking to my defensive linemen. No cheap penalties. They might try to hit us with a hard count. And then after that, we're probably going to have to play man-to-man tight coverage to get off this field.
Mike Chandler not in the game again on a crucial 3rd down for Campbell. Six-killer pressure in his face. Checks it down to Kearney. Kearney will be shy of the marker. Brian Nelson ran him out of bounds, and the offense staying on the field for the moment. Nope, looks like special teams is coming out now. So punt group is out there. Aiden Bondi. And the Wolfpack will get their wish at one more offensive attempt. Terrell Anderson runs out there. He had a 78-yard punt return for a touchdown called back after a penalty. And Anderson will fair catch this one. They've had their struggles catching punts today, but not with Anderson back there. Let's take a look at NC State and their offense. 424 yards in the first half. Most by any FBS team this season.
Yeah, the Wolfpack, they have the talent to do so. They're very capable of putting up high numbers on offense.
Incomplete there by Bailey. 2 flags come in late, intended for Joe Lee.
Pass interference. Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Evan Spivey, the redshirt sophomore from Philadelphia.
Yeah, he lets Jolie cross his face and then gets into a state of panic and just grabs the arms too early.
I mean, I'd be in a little bit of panic. I mean, I'm not a DB like you, but I'd be in a little bit of panic if Jolie was crossing my face too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, George. I'll take the hole before you give up the touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we say in the DB room.
No doubt. That 424 yards for NC State, by the way, most in the first half since 2015 as well. They hand it off. And here's Scott again on the loose. And taken down near the 20-yard line. Another explosive play for NC State.
Yeah, Scott just showing really good vision and setting up his blockers well. You see the offensive line get out in the front. And then, he's just in the open field and showing a little bit of speed of his own.
A 35-yard gain. Play action. Bailey strike over the middle to Noah Rogers to the 10. Picks up the first down.
Bailey's pass is complete to number 5, Noah Rogers.
Really good ball placement by Bailey, throwing it low to not only protect his receiver from the hit, but also to where his receiver is the only guy that will wind up catching it.
First and goal for the Wolfpack after the 13-yard gain. Bailey all day. End zone. Touchdown. Easy pitch and catch to Justin Jolie. His 3rd touchdown of the season. Bailey has his 4th of the day.
You have to love this if you're C.J. Bailey, a tight end that can win one-on-one matchups, and that's what Jolie did. The defender was inside, he broke outside, and the ball was right on time for them to connect for a touchdown.
Fine set for the extra point. Up and good. 49 points for NC State, tied for 3rd most in a first half in the NCAA this season. I mean, C.J. Bailey, man, this kid is impressive. And look, this game, I understand the competition, but he's been impressive all season long. But here are today's numbers.
He's the real deal, and you see that accurate with the football, 17 of 20. And then the 4 touchdowns, and what I love about this is the 0 interceptions. He knows that that football means everything to his team.
43 ticks on the clock for Campbell. They do have the 3 timeouts. There's Jolie getting some love. Jolie with 26 catches this season. Charlie Birtwistle to kick it off, and that one through the end zone. So Campbell will get another opportunity here. And if you're NC State, this is what you want. I mean, you want to dominate this FCS team and give yourself an opportunity to get some young guys in the game in the second half.
You want to walk away with this game feeling confident about your units. And you have a lot of guys in new spots, particularly on defense, and so you're evaluating them very closely. And so far today, they have shown that they've taken the practice to the field today.
Again, no Mike Chandler out there. Their do-it-all offensive threat. Cowan pushes forward for a couple. And if you're Campbell, you don't want to make any mistakes this deep in your territory. You want to just kind of let this clock run down. And that seems to be the case at the moment.
Exactly, George. Don't put ball in harm's way. Just take it into halftime. Regroup.
And a key for Campbell is certainly you want to come out of this healthy against this type of competition when you're leveling up. So that'll do it for the first half. Rod, it's 49-7 NC State over Campbell. What are some of the things, and we've talked about it numerous times already, what are some of the things, though, that have really stood out to you for the Wolfpack?
It's the response. It's the mindset of this football team. They came out today with the mindset that they want to win, and they want to win in a convincing manner, and they're going to play complementary football. Outside of the special teams hiccups, the offense and the defense have done their job effectively in this first half.
Let's check in with Victoria with Coach Dave Dorn.
All right, Coach, you said that the focus this week, and this game in particular, was about having fun, fundamentals, and executing plays. How has this first half showcased the work that your guys have put in?
Well, we're definitely doing that in most cases. You know, we've had a few special teams mistakes, a freshman punt returners, so learn from that. But I'm proud of the guys offensively, defensively, doing a good job.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the next half.
Thanks a lot. Go Pack.
All right, there's Dave Dorn with Victoria. Our halftime score, 49-7, Wolfpack. over the Camels coming up after the break. Stay tuned for the ACC halftime report with Kelsey Riggs-Cuff, Mark Ritt, and Tom Luganville as they discuss the Florida State-Miami game coming up tonight on ABC. Welcome back to Raleigh. The Wolfpack standing on business, leading 49-7 over the Campbell Camels here at halftime at Carter-Finley Stadium. Let's take a look around the ACC today. The scoreboard, Clemson taking down North Carolina right down the street, about 30 minutes away from this stadium. Boston College took them to the woodshed, 48-7. Wake Forest and Virginia Tech in a tussle at the moment, and then Virginia and Louisville just kicking off, along with Syracuse, SMU, and Miami and Florida State. The big battle in the ACC today on ABC at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And don't forget Duke Cal in the late game at 10:30 Eastern. But it is 49-7 here, Wolfpack over the Camels. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Raleigh. The Wolfpack leading 49-7 as we get ready to kick off here in the second half. George Sedano, Rodney McLeod, Victoria Arlen will join us in just a few moments. And the Wolfpack dominating this one. 482 total yards to 99 for the Fighting Camels of Campbell. Special teams really the only place that has hampered the Wolfpack. That one goes through the end zone, and the Camels will start at their own 25-yard line. And welcome inside Carter-Finley Stadium alongside Rodney McLeod, Super Bowl champion, UVA Cavalier. I'm George Sedano. Again, Victoria Arlen will join us momentarily. So, Rod, in the open, we talked about the two stars on offense for NC State, C.J. Bailey, Hollywood Smothers, and they have done the job today.
They have indeed. They've done their job at a high level today for this offense. And C.J. Bailey, as we've seen all over the tape and field today, is decisiveness, clear reads, strong arm, and just spreading the wealth. And then Smothers is just being impactful through the ground. And it's a sight to see when they do it and click in on all cylinders.
They have been fantastic for sure. C.J. Bailey with 292 yards in the air, 4 touchdowns. Smothers with 123 yards on 4 carries, by the way. And speaking of carries, J.J. Cowan on the run there picks up 8 for the Camels. Camden Sixkiller is back there. He's 9 of 17 for 59 yards. Goes to the air, complete to Barry Tate, and picks up the first down. A 9-yard gain.
Barry Tate is a shifty wide receiver for this offense. Does a lot of his work from the slot position. And there was some space there, and he took advantage of it on the outside.
The starting defense is out there as we were taking a look for NC State, despite the 42-point lead. You surprised by that, Rod?
No, not surprised at all, because you need these reps. These are valuable reps for your team and getting and developing continuity.
They hand it off again, and they snuff this one out. A gaggle of defenders there. Harsh and Cleveland met at J.J. Cowan. A loss on the play. Flag, though, at the 47.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense, number 71. 15-yard penalty. The down counts. Second down.
Zyterio Lee, backup offensive lineman who's there at left tackle, redshirt sophomore from Atlanta, a transfer from Alabama State. You see the coaching staff and him having some words.
That's not what you want to see, and just extracurriculars that's not needed. Play in between the whistles.
He pushed Caden Fordham, and there was a second push that you didn't see on the screen as well. So 2nd and 28 now. Sixkiller back to the air, complete to Jones, and Jones pushed out of bounds, and a flag on the play there as he was already out of bounds And Ronnie Royal.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
The redshirt freshman from Alabama. Yeah, he tossed him down to the ground.
You got to keep your composure. If you're Ronnie Royal, now I know he's young, but these are the moments where you have to grow up.
And know where you are on the field, too.
Absolutely.
Six-killer under pressure. Throws off his back foot. Lofts one. Incomplete. Dangerous pass there. 2 red shirts back there. Ethan Lawrence, the intended target. Pressure there by Travali Price, but you saw in coverage 2 Wolfpack defenders.
Very dangerous. Very rare you want to see a quarterback throw the ball off their back foot off balance in that way, and they almost came up big for the defense. Turnover.
Jamel Johnson, number 21, and Kean Sloan, a defensive end back there in coverage on the tailback.
Showing his range.
Mike Chandler checking back in. You see him in motion. The do-it-all offensive threat for Campbell. They play fake it to him on the roll. A completion near the sticks to Parker Jones. They will give them the first down. So they are in Wolfpack territory.
Yeah, good job by Parker Jones. It's just working with his quarterback, Six-Killer, and then Six-Killer having the patience and trust to find him. That's what they needed right now after a rough start to this drive.
So Parker Jones, the redshirt sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland, the transfer from the Terps program. Cowan on the left hip of Six-Killer, and he gets taken down immediately right at the line of scrimmage by Josiah Victor, the freshman from Loganville, Georgia. No gain.
I know the Wolfpack defense, they talked about this at halftime, is that we had to find a way to slow Cowan down because he was effective in between, inside the interior there throughout that first half.
And this Campbell team is missing 3 receivers. Randall King, their prime target, R.J. Hart, and Spencer Jones. So they're short receivers. Six-Killer going to slide, pick up positive yardage. They'll give him 5. Third down upcoming for Campbell. What do you want to see defensively from the Wolfpack?
Defensively, I want to see them go up and challenge these wide receivers, knowing that guys like Chandler and Giannis Wilcox, they like that quick out on a number of these positions.
Is this 4-down territory?
It is 4-down territory.
Campbell 3 of 9 on third downs. Chandler is in the game in the slot at the top of your screen. Wolfpack bring 5, and incomplete pass to Stevie Keener, the freshman. Devon Marshall in coverage. So 4th and 6 upcoming, and the offense stays on the field for the Camels.
Yeah, Keener has to help Six-Killer out. He ran a good route running a slant, but unfortunately he dropped it, and now it's 4th and 5.
And Chandler is in the game. They are making some substitutions. There's only 12 seconds left on the play clock. Time is ticking. Six-Killer gets the snap. Pressure coming and taken down by Sebastian Harsh, the grad transfer. Is he doing the Pee Wee Herman there? He might have.
They have a plethora of celebrations that they put on display today. I love the energy from this defense, and it's always fun when you're making plays, and good play by Harsh. Really good stunt.
Well, he did the limbo earlier. Now he's doing the Pee Wee Herman dance. So he's got the celebration bag rolling at the moment. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. The Wolfpack with a big lead here, 49-7. C.J. Bailey, the starting quarterback for NC State, back out there. His first drive of the second half. Duke Scott in the backfield with him. The backup tailback takes the run here. Breaks through the hole, gets to the second and third level. picks up a first down to the 45-yard line of Campbell. Let's check in with Victoria.
I spoke with Coach Harris at the half, and he told me, well, his message was simple: do your job. He says we gave up too much by guys not being where they're supposed to be, not doing their job. Yes, NC State is good, but I got to find 11 guys that can go out there and do their job, George.
Yeah, Victoria. Look, they certainly have some things they could do differently from an assignment standpoint and schematic standpoint and guys executing, Rod. But at some point, the talent just takes over on the other side, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a talented Wolfpack team, and you're up against a hard task, right now. But at the end of the day, they got to fight, they got to play.
Bailey goes back to the air, pressure in his face, avoids one defender, and now he's going to tuck it and run, and out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Pressure there by Tavalis Curry. A 1-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Yeah, good pressure by Curry, but that's what people fail to realize. CJ Bailey's sneaky athletic and was able to escape and tried to look for a throw down the field, but wisely just decided to run the ball out of bounds.
Wolfpack 1 of 1 on 3rd downs. NC State 49 points in the first half. Their most since 2001 against Duke. That was Phillip Rivers under center that day. Bailey with time. Over the middle, almost hits the official, but complete to Jolie, and enough for the first down at the 32-yard line, a 9-yard gain.
And good route by Jolie, and this is one of their cornerbacks, Guzman, and you see him just good body positioning against the cornerback there.
Speaking of body positioning, how about the up there? Missing that one. I mean, he slid out of the way. We got to show that again in a second if we can. And Duke Scott wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. My guy right here. We got to see this one more time. Take me through this, Rod. Look at this.
He's athletic. He's still showing he's got something in the tank.
Bailey with 301 yards. Tom Laverty, our umpire, still got moves. 2nd and 7 for the Wolfpack. Bailey, what a stab there by Jolie. One-handed catch, picks up the first down to the 20, a 9-yard gain. And you see why NFL scouts are salivating over him.
Yeah, this guy, great catch. Shout out to the new gloves. It's got some extra sticky on there, but that was a good grab by Jolie.
Skies for that one, goes upstairs and hauls it in. Bailey jukes one man and dives forward. Picks up a couple. Now, listen, if you're Kurt Roper, the offensive coordinator, and Dave Dorn, you're probably telling CJ, hey, sliding is good.
Yeah.
Don't dive forward.
Yeah, be very cautious and mindful of the moment and the situation of this game. He had a couple of receivers open on that play. Surprised he didn't throw it.
2nd and 9 after the gain of 1. Bailey throws to the sideline, incomplete. A flag trailing the play at the 25-yard line. Brandon Guzman in coverage of Wesley Grimes was the intended target.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Spike Sewell Jr., freshman from Louisville, Kentucky. Backup center.
Sewell just gets beat and just tackles him. But this is somebody that they've been very high on and really taking advantage of his opportunity as of late.
His father, Isaac, played in the NFL with Cleveland. His cousin is Hall of Famer Earl Campbell. Bailey fires, finds his target inside the 5. Wesley Grimes down to the 2-yard line. 27-yard gain, 1st and goal to go for the Wolfpack.
CJ Bailey just being very elusive in the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field, and then following Wesley Grimes for a big connection.
Yeah, nifty moves in the pocket as Bailey climbed it. 2 tight ends out there, for the Wolfpack, Cody Hardy and Dante Daniels. Hardy already with a touchdown. And a plunge there by Duke Scott as he gets his second touchdown of the game. 55-7 Wolfpack. 8 drives, 8 TDs for NC State.
It's really good running and good job in pushing by everybody on that line of scrimmage. They walked him back into the end zone and created space for Scott to run right in.
Those 2 tight ends, Hardy and Daniels, helped out. Daniels had a TD last week. Hardy got one earlier today. Extra point is up and good by Vineset. 56-7, Rod.
Really clean football being put on display for this Wolfpack offense, and then it's capped off with a run to finish the deal.
Who's going to make the ACC title game? Here are the odds. Miami clearly in front, but that team ranked 24th in the country is number 2 there on that list. Pretty familiar with those guys, Rod.
Very familiar, and a lot of surprises that we see on this screen. Virginia being one, Duke, Georgia Tech, I mean, Louisville, but, you know, Miami is there to, it's all set up for them to go ahead and finish it out. Big game later tonight.
By the way, the Who's up 7-0 against Louisville on the road. I'm genuinely curious to see how the ACC shakes out. Big game, obviously, Miami, Florida State tonight on ABC, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And for Florida State specifically, that is an elimination game in some ways. Jalen Ferguson now checking in for Campbell, the grad transfer. He's had 8 pass attempts this season. And a quick toss to the boundary. Complete to Chinua Ezigbo. And there is Jalen Ferguson, the senior from the state of North Carolina. 5-yard gain on that one. It'll be 2nd and 5. And are you surprised with Six Killer being out, or you just figured if you're them, hey, you know what? He's healthy at the moment. This game has clearly gotten away from them. What do you make of it?
I would have liked to see him come back out, you know, at least to finish out this 3rd quarter to see what he could do. But again, that's why I'm in the booth and not out on the sidelines, George.
Kearney with the run and has enough for the first down. 5-yard gain. Six Killer's day is over. Six Killer, 12 of 22 for 87 yards and the 1 touchdown. They were able to capitalize on a muffed punt by Teddy Hoffman, and were able to punch it in on a pass from Six Killer to Mike Chandler. The do-it-all Swiss Army knife for Campbell. Ferguson back to the air. Another completion, again to Ezigbo.
Ferguson has a nice zip.
Oh, yeah.
On that football. Got there in a hurry on outside those numbers. See if he can put a drive together here. Give his team some life and some momentum.
Well, you got to see what you've got, too.
Yeah, because the truth of the matter is they're going against the Wolfpack defense, a lot of their starters. Yep. You see a lot of young guys out there, but they're now put in position to start for this defense. So really good work.
And Campbell's 1-1 in their conference in the CAA. Tailback wrapped up in the backfield is Kearney. And they are all conference after this. They've got Hampton, New Hampshire, NCA&T, William & Mary, Elon, and Towson. 3rd down upcoming. They're 3 for 10 on 3rd downs today. The crowd that remains, the kids having some fun.
It's that school spirit.
And the mascot's getting down to late in the charge.
This is the beauty of college football. Student body. Gotta love it.
They started 3 of 4 on third downs, have missed their last 6. Pressure coming backside, a completion and a first down to Dawson Adams-Grenier. Grenier with the catch there. Redondo Beach, California native from Bishop Gorman, though, played high school ball in Las Vegas. He picks up the first down.
Grenier displayed strong hands as the defender was draped all over him.
11-yard gain. And you're right about Ferguson. He threw a strike.
Yeah, there seems to be no hesitation when he drops back. He knows where he wants to go.
Back to the ground. The hole was there for the moment, but closed quickly for Kearney. Campbell first downs in the first half. They had 7. This quarter already 5. So Ferguson moving the ball pretty well for the Camels. 2nd and 9 upcoming.
Really good practice for Ferguson. You never know what can happen along a season when your number is going to get called. And today, you know, he's asked to step in and just compete.
So far, so good on that end. Ferguson again to the air, completes towards the sideline to Barry Tate. A 6-yard gain. And Ferguson 3 for 3 at the moment.
Officials timeout for an injured player of the offense. Timeout on the field.
That's Dane Kearney, the redshirt freshman from Indianapolis. And we will step aside here in the 3rd quarter. NC State up big. 3rd down here for the Camels of Campbell. With the new quarterback, Jalen Ferguson, under center. Well, technically in shotgun at the moment. George Sedano, Rodney McLeod, Victoria Arlen with you here. 3rd and 3. Ferguson checks it down to Kearney, and Kearney cannot escape. Brian Nelson took him down immediately. 4th down, and the punt unit is coming out. You surprised the punt unit's coming up?
Yeah, I would go for it. You know, right now you have earlier in the game on 4th and short, bad play call earlier, but you have a chance to redeem yourself. But they opt to punt.
Yeah, 4th and 2. You're on their side of the field. I mean, you're kind of in no man's land. And Bondi boots it. And see, that's the thing, is that you don't really gain a lot of yardage there. You know, they're going to start at the 20, so you've only netted, you know, whatever it is, 21 yards.
Yeah, like I said, I would have opted to go for it. You know, you had a good drive there by Ferguson, and he's shown that, you know, he'll make the right decisions.
Lex Thomas is the new starting quarterback, or excuse me, the new quarterback in. Redshirt sophomore from Wake Forest, North Carolina. There are his numbers from last year in his time in the games. Lex, shoulder injury in high school, lost 2 years rehabbing, and now arguably the strongest arm of anyone in the group. Good run there by Duke Scott. So CJ Bailey's day is done. And it's funny, Lex has a couple of brothers, and when Kurt Roper told us about Lex, he's like, man, he's a Thomas. His brothers are tough. They're naturally big, strong, tough dudes. He's not as strong in stature, or as big in stature, but he is tough, getting through those shoulder injuries and rehabbing. And flag on the play here on this run.
Holding. Offense. Number 50. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's Val Erickson, the redshirt junior from Chicago, a transfer from Missouri. Back to Thomas again. It's tough when you're a quarterback in high school, Rod. You imagine dealing with shoulder injury. It takes you 2 years to rehab. A lot of kids wouldn't fight through that. They'd just be like, you know what, man, I can't do it. It's over. But he has fought through and is the backup quarterback to C.J. Bailey here at NC State.
Yeah, proving that he's a fighter, and then testament to his character, being able to persevere through that injury.
Checks it down to Tank Boston. Short gain, and that should do it for the third quarter. A 6-yard gain, 3rd and 8 upcoming for the Wolfpack. That'll do it for 3 quarters. NC State dominating this one. We showed you this graphic earlier. We talked about Miami, Virginia being in the driver's seat to get to the ACC title game and win the ACC title. But, you know, Duke, Georgia Tech, Louisville, they're all in the mix right now. Louisville and Virginia playing right now as we speak, Rod, and all knotted up. It'll be an interesting battle to see who gets to Charlotte.
Yeah, a few teams have a chance today to increase their probability. Virginia and Louisville are 2 of those teams, and then Miami versus Florida State is a big one as well. So, you know, you could find yourself either going up the ladder or going down after today.
Thomas couldn't connect there with Teddy Hoffman. Evan Spivey in coverage. And they're giving Hoffman some opportunities to play wide receiver now. 4th down upcoming. Noonkester will punt for the first time today. Brandon Guzman set to field it. Noonkester skies this one, a swirling punt. And NC State will down it at the 42-yard line. Let's check in with Victoria for an injury update on Campbell.
I've got 2 injury updates for you. Number 77 left guard Jack O'Connor is out with an upper body injury, and number 58 Dane Turney got out of the tent and he's on the bench with his left wrist taped, George.
All right, excellent, Victoria, for the update. Unfortunately for those guys, you know, that's the tough part here. Excellent reporting by Victoria, but tough day for those guys. And this is the thing we were talking about, Rod, with these guys, with the Campbell Camels. Granted, those 2 guys are backup guys, but still, you start losing depth, you get into conference play. That's the tough part if you're an FCS team playing an FBS team, particularly a Power 4 team.
For sure, you want to make it out healthy as possible. You know, we're in the middle stretch of the season, and so they have a lot of conference games ahead of them, as you spoke about, and they want to make sure they're at full tilt when it comes to those games.
Trajan Giannis Wilcox with the catch there. Gain of 4 on the play. Ferguson is 6 of 6 as he's been thrusted into this contest at quarterback. Lawrence on the run. Not much there. About 2. Corian Hodge, the true freshman from Arlington, Texas, made the tackle. There's the upcoming schedule for the Campbell Camels. Again, all conference play. They're 1-1 in conference, so they've got the whole season ahead of them at the moment. And you see their head coach, Braxton Harris. He is someone we enjoyed talking to this week, a former backup D3 quarterback, and became a defensive coach. And an incomplete pass there on 3rd down. They'll be forced to punt unless they stay on the field to go for it here. They didn't go for it last time.
Yeah, I expect the punt team to come on now.
They do. And there's Coach Harris again. Interesting, he was at Texas Lutheran, was his first job, and he was a D-line coach. And when I asked him, how did a backup D3 quarterback become a D-line coach, he's like, man, I faked it till I made it. And he talked about how his wife, who was a NICU nurse, he used the quote, that was my sugar mama so I can get in. I only made $36,000. It was a fundraising job, it wasn't even a salary job. But here he is now, a head coach at Campbell in their 16th year of playing football. We'll step aside as his team trails by 49. Welcome back to Raleigh, 56-7 NC State. Caden Fordham, their all-world linebacker, has taken on a leadership role on this team. He was in the offensive huddle, Rod, just a moment ago before Lex Thomas and company took the field here. As Thomas checks it down to Fields, a flag on the play. Let's see what the flag is about. We can continue talking about Fordham.
Offside. Defense, number 15. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Tavalis Curry with the infraction. Back to Fordham. Again, listen, you play defense. How often do you see a defensive player in the offensive line?
That's the essence of a true leader. You know, not only the voice of the defense, but the voice of the team. And highly respected by his teammates, and you could tell he has great respect for him. And probably, you know, showing those guys on the offensive side of the ball some love as they're getting a chance to play today.
Fields picks up positive yardage. When we talked to Dave Dorn about Fordham, he says, man, everyone respects him. He's not necessarily a cheerleader, but he outworks everyone, and it gives him a big platform, and he's using that platform, as we discussed there, with his teammates. For more, let's check in with Victoria.
Caden told me that as a leader, he needs to step up and be the best that he can be so that everyone else can follow suit. And you notice he's wearing the #1, and since 2014, the #1 jersey at NC State has been awarded to the Wolfpack player who exhibits elite work ethic and practice and training habits while also serving as an exemplary leader. And Caden Fordham is that guy, according to Coach Dorn.
Thank you, Victoria. Toss out of bounds there by Thomas. Yeah, Fordham, again, that #1. David Van Wart last year and the 2 previous years. Their best player on the defensive line. Isaiah Moore before him at linebacker, one of Caden's mentors here, along with Peyton Wilson, who's now playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who wore 11, like C.J. Bailey, interestingly enough. And when we talked to Charleston Warren, the interim defensive coordinator, about Caden, he said, man, players see this guy not making any excuses, and came back from injury last year, more vocal on the sidelines, and we've seen it. Will Wilson now in at quarterback for the Wolfpack. Throws on the run. Dangerous pass, but connects there. As he throws on the run, sidearms one to Griffin Reimer. Picks up the first down.
A real savvy toss by Wilson. Looks like he was going to take it for a run, and then he just throws it back across his body. Finds his tight end.
Wilson back to the air. A completion to Ashton Locklear, the redshirt freshman from Apex, North Carolina, Friendship High School.
Fordham, he wears that #1 with a badge of honor. And you talked about it, a lot of good company, a lot of history surrounding the number. And what I was impressed by was just his ability to impact his teammates outside of the lines, on the sidelines, being a good communicator, keeping everyone calm and poised and focused, and also determined and continue to drive when you have success.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. Yeah, I mean, and that's what leaders do, right? So, I mean, you've been a leader in the NFL. You've been around a lot of guys who've led, and everyone does it in different ways. And, you know, we're talking about young men here in college. So it takes a second to grow into that role. And when Dave Dorn says he's grown into that platform, you know, we got to witness it here. It's 3rd and 7 upcoming. Lex Thomas, the backup quarterback, in. Has time, fires to the sideline, too high for his intended target. That was Ashton Locklear. So 4th and 7 upcoming, and Noonkester coming out to punt, the 2nd straight punt for the Wolfpack after going 8 for 8 on touchdown drives. Brandon Guzman inside his 20, set to receive. Noonkester, spiraling punt. It bounces and will take an NC State bounce inside the 15-yard line. So we'll step aside. Wolfpack leading 56-7 here in the 4th.
We go back to back. more sports for one unbeatable price. Get unrivaled coverage all year long. Introducing the new ESPN Fox One bundle.
Yeah, probably for the left side of them.
Welcome back here. Now, on that last punt, we were talking about Caden Fordham earlier. This is the fourth quarter of a 49-point game. On the left side of your screen, he's basically playing right guard, Rod, on punt coverage?
Yeah, and, to go out there this late in the game just says a lot about the young man. Just a true marking of a leader, doing whatever is asked of him and giving himself up for the team.
Man, Caden Fordham, the graduate, not grad transfer, of course. He's been here from day one, Ponte Vedra, Florida. And a run there for Campbell. Be shy of the sticks by about 2 yards. And look at these guys. They're ready for Oktoberfest. Josh Ellerby in at tailback on the left hip of Jalen Ferguson. He stays in the block. Ferguson takes a deep shot over the head of Barry Tate, the redshirt sophomore from Greensboro. 3rd and 2 for Campbell. So Campbell still trying to fight.
They're still fighting, and you still see a lot of the newcomers in the secondary still out on the field. One of those being Bailey, who they just targeted. He was in good position. These are valuable reps for them, for a group that hasn't worked together on minimal snaps.
Ferguson 6 of 8. Campbell 4 of 13 on 3rd downs today. 3rd and 2 here. Whistles on the field.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And you certainly can't have that if you're Campbell.
No, not at all. You put yourselves in a tough position, and now you allow the Wolfpack defense to pin their ears back and rush this passer.
We've 3rd and 7 now. Do you risk passing it?
I'm trying to get the 1st down, George.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying they're deep in their own territory here.
Yeah, they just passed it a couple plays ago.
Here we go. They check it down, a safe pass, and wrapped up immediately by Josh. It was Josh Ellerby who caught the ball, but Fagan made the tackle there.
Yeah, good strong tackle by Fagan coming up. There was some space, but he closed the distance and then grabbed those legs and held on tight and put up the 4th down.
So Aiden Bondi, his 8th punt of the game. High snap, able to corral it. End over end punt to Anderson, who had one called back earlier, a 78-yard touchdown that was called back due to holding. And North Carolina State, NC State will start in Campbell territory with a huge lead. One of the best rivalries in college football, Miami and Florida State, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific tonight on ABC. Carson Beck, Thomas Castellanos. That one should be a fun one. It's always a good one and a close one. A run here by Fields. We have a flag on the play. Flag on the 44-yard line.
Offside. Defense, number 15. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Tavalis Curry again with the infraction. But back to Florida State and Miami. You know, look, when I was growing up, that was the game.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. And you look at these two guys at quarterback, as my spotter Ted Kozak, a Gator, was giving me the thumbs down. That's the game. That game decided a lot of national championships when Bobby Bowden was the head coach at Florida State, and whether it was Jimmy Johnson or Dennis Erickson at Miami, and of course Howard Schnellenberger So that one means something again. We were talking about it earlier very briefly. If Florida State loses that game, they have like a 2% chance to make it to the CFP at that point, because potentially what happens with Virginia and Louisville, that game could determine some things in the ACC. Obviously, Georgia Tech is undefeated in conference as well.
There's a lot riding on that game, and it's not only for bragging rights. It's for a contention at a championship, and that's what both programs are chasing right now. And so it's a huge deal later tonight and how these teams show up. You know, personally, I'll give the nods to Miami. You know, I believe they're built to win in the trenches. Both have formed their teams through the trenches, but I believe that offensive line of the Hurricanes, and particularly that defensive line of Ruben Bain and Mesidor, will be very disruptive versus Castellanos. We're giving the edge tonight.
You can make the case they have the best lines of scrimmage in all of college football, certainly arguably in that category. And if Miami does lose the game, they still have a decent shot of even making the college football playoff. I would say just under 30 or 40, in that 30 to 40% range.
Of course.
But because it would only be their first loss. Florida State, having lost to your Virginia Cavaliers, has put them a bit behind the 8 ball. So there it is. So Miami with a loss still has a 45% chance. Florida State, as I mentioned, only 2%. So this is a big deal for Mike Norvell and company.
Very big deal. And they have the advantage. They're facing the Hurricanes on their home turf, right? They came off a disappointing loss. So they're going to be very hungry and determined for a win. But it'll be a battle for sure.
Miami won that game last year down at Hard Rock Stadium. Incomplete, intended for Boston. And 4th down upcoming for NC State. We'll see what they do if the offense stays on the field.
Yeah, I'll be looking very closely at that game, you know, as well, to how Florida State gets off. Do they get off to a fast start or a slow start? You know, last week a slow start hurt them.
NC State's going to go here on 4th and 9, as they should this deep in their opponent's territory. Will Wilson at quarterback in shotgun. Wilson intercepted and taken down in NC State territory is Ravel Cato, right in his mitts.
Yeah, Cato was stride for stride, and he just sliced that out route. And he didn't put enough velocity on that football, and so he left it behind his receiver, and Cato made him pay.
It was intended for the true freshman Preston Douglas from Jupiter, Florida. So Campbell, second turnover of the game for NC State. They had a muffed punt earlier by Teddy Hoffman. That's only their 5th turnover in 5 games this season. Ferguson back out there. Over the middle, incomplete, but a late flag coming in. Trailing the play. That one intended for Barry Tate. Let's see what the infraction is.
Pass interference. Defense, number 30. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Zane Williams with the pass interference call.
Yeah, tough matchup for Williams on Tate. This guy's quick. He's put his arms around the hip and impeding him from being able to catch that football.
Yeah, easy call. Devon Thomas now in the backfield to the left of Jalen Ferguson, the quarterback. Thomas with the carry. Picks up 3. Devon Carter, the freshman from San Antonio, Texas, makes the tackle for the Wolfpack. Under 6 minutes to go. And again for Campbell, you're just trying to see what you have here with some of these guys. You may need them in CAA play in conference. And I think this second unit has shown some life for them.
Indeed, they have.
Oh, what a move there. Nice move for the first down, it looks like, or at least. Wow, they marked him just shy. I think he got a tough spot there. I got to be honest with you. Devon Thomas, 6-yard gain.
Yeah, really good move here. As he comes around the left side, just puts that foot in the ground, and gets up the field quickly. And he may have failed for that first.
I thought so too.
A little short.
Yeah, I mean, he landed on a defender initially, and the ball was closer to the 25. They marked him at the 26. He got shortchanged there. 3rd and 1. Not much there. A loss on the play. Chase Bond read that thing. 3-yard loss to Devon Thomas.
And that was cut off immediately by the first defender there at number 35, Hodge. And then Bond's able to be the recipient because he did his job at a high level.
A 46-yard attempt for a field goal by Alex Crabb. 6 of 8 on the season. Last week was 2 of 3. He is 1 of 3 between 40 and 49. High snap. Hold is down. The kick is up, and it is good. So Campbell gets on the board. 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go in this one, and some positive opportunities there for the Campbell offense.
Always positive when you walk away with points at the end of the drive. And Ferguson, since he's come in, has put together a slew of drives where they've been positive and encouraging if you're that Campbell team and coaches.
Victoria is having a good time there. It looks like with Champ.
A great time.
Yeah, with Champ here.
Found a new friend.
Yeah.
Guys, this is Champ, okay? He goes out and gets the tease during when NC State has to go and kick, and he's just my new best friend. I didn't think I could have a better time at a football game, and today I was proven wrong.
Okay, well, there you have it, Victoria.
Yeah.
I'm glad you made a friend.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Victoria, very friendly. So, as I'm sure Champ is too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They look very comfortable together. That was a nice shot.
Jada Duke Scott set to receive. Riley Sullivan will kick it off for the Camels. And that one sails in the end zone. Let's take a look at NC State's upcoming schedule. So they take on Notre Dame next week. They're going on the road to South Bend. Then they get a bye week at Pitt, Georgia Tech at Miami, Florida State at home, and North Carolina to end the season in their rivalry game. That's a tough schedule for Dave Doran's bunch.
Tough schedule for sure. And again, what you wanted to see today is a positive sign as you get ready for these games, particularly going into Notre Dame next week. The offense showed up today. They showed the ability to throw the ball at a high level, run the ball. Offensive line is doing what they need to do. So I'm encouraged in Dave Doran. And then you have to see how your young group on defense handles that environment on the road.
Yeah, they're going to be tested for sure, particularly with that young group in that secondary that's had to step in due to injury. 603 total yards for NC State today. That's the first time since 2018 against East Carolina that they've done that, gone over the 600-yard mark. They had 655 in that game. Darius Johnson with the carry. And they get the first down. 4-yard gain for the redshirt sophomore from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Beach High School in Hendersonville, Tennessee. I don't know many beaches, though, in Tennessee, so I'm curious for the name. Tripped up in the backfield is Colson Fields, a North Carolina kid. Grew up in Wake Forest, redshirt sophomore. Turf Monster got him. Now, when you're watching film, the turf monster gets a guy. What's that like in the film room?
You just do what I just did. You just laugh, especially when there's a lot of space in front of you. I've been there myself.
On like a fumble recovery or a pick or something?
Yeah. Honestly, both sides. You know, my
your younger days, you played offense.
Yeah. As a little league player in high school, and then defensively, yeah. It happens to the best of us.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And
I mean, it happens every week. We do it every week. Somebody gets taken down by the turf monster.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He's undefeated.
3 of 6 on third downs. Upcoming is a 3rd and 10 after the 2-minute timeout. So we will step aside.
2-minute timeout.
56-10 Wolfpack. So last week, NC State only scored 21 points. Dave Dorn told us that wasn't enough. Here's what they've done today, Rob.
A lights-out performance in every area of the game on this offensive side of the football. And what you want to see, you know, after losing last week and then getting prepared for Notre Dame, it has to make you feel really good as a head coach and of course, being a player on the offense.
Lex Thomas loses the football there and then picks it up and wisely throws it out of bounds. 4th down upcoming, and the punt team will come out for NC State. The 3rd punt for Noon Kester. NC State will have their 43rd win in the last 45 home games versus non-conference opponents. And they'll also have a winning record through 6 games at 4-2 for the 11th time in the last 12 seasons. Guzman, fair catch. 1:45 to go in this one. Here's a look around the ACC. Clemson clobbered North Carolina. Boston College on the wrong end of a drubbing as well by Pitt. Wake Forest, Jake Dickert getting a victory against Virginia Tech. We're all knotted up in Louisville between the Cavaliers and the Cardinals. And SMU throttling Syracuse right now. Miami and Florida State later tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Our producer, Aaron Snyder, storing her orange after the injury to Steve Angeli, having a rough go.
It's hard to overcome that. That battle down in Louisville is one to look at very closely.
Yeah, I know you'll be keeping an eye on that.
As we said, that has a lot on the line and how these teams continue to position themselves for a championship run down the stretch.
Emmanuel Chambers is the back in the backfield. He had that run there a moment ago. But to your point, the ACC is always interesting. It may not be the teams you thought it would be.
For sure.
You know, everyone thought it was going to be Clemson and Miami. Well, Miami's there, but like I don't think. And people thought North Carolina would be a team that could have 8 or 9 wins this season and be in that mix. I think Georgia Tech, after their strong finish last year and really an incredible game that went to multiple overtimes last year against Georgia, I think people have realized they are here.
Yeah.
And but. Yeah, I think the Clemson part of it is clearly the biggest surprise. And on the flip side, your squad, Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, I would throw Georgia Tech in there too, to be honest. You know, you can't never take anything for granted, but they found their identity. They're rugged, you know, grinded out type of team, and they're clicking.
Under 30 seconds to go here. Ferguson on the keeper. And that should do it. Dave Dorn, win number 114 in his career.
Very decorated career. He's earned every right, every win. Love the mindset and leader that he is. But today, I found out a lot about this offense. What I thought was true is that they have a lot of weapons and they're fully capable of carrying this team.
That'll do it for us. Our producer, Aaron Snyder Storn, our director, Michael Ireland, the entire crew here in Raleigh. Joe Castellano on stats, Ted Kozak, our spotter. For Victoria Arlen, Rodney McLeod, I'm George Sedano. 56-10, NC State over Campbell. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. See you guys. Great job.